So Grand Rising, everybody. Thank y'all for jumping on. Happy Monday. Happy Monday to everybody out there. If you're seeing this, that means you made it through the weekend. So as you jump on, do me a favor, drop your city and your state, like the video and share the video. We're currently broadcasting from 4 different platforms: our Instagram, our Facebook, our YouTube, and also our TikTok. So guys, if you're not following us on our cross platforms, make sure you follow us on our business media platforms. I'm going to be talking about sublimation today in a little bit more detail, and the topic or the title is, you may not see the title, but the title is, they lied to y'all about sublimation. They really did. They lied to y'all about sublimation. So I posted a video last week talking about me pressing a shirt. I actually pressed a shirt right here on this heat press, and I asked a simple question. I thought I was clear. Maybe I wasn't, but this time I'm definitely going to be clear. I asked, and as you can see, the video was a little bit of overhead. I had my shirt there, and I had my transfer on the shirt. And the question that I asked was, what did I not do before I pulled the press down? Now, there was really only 2 possible answers, but there were several people that commented, and I'm glad, because I love getting the reactions and the responses and the engagement. But there was really only two logical answers of what did I not do before I pulled the heat press down. It wasn't lint rolling. It wasn't heating up the shirt. It wasn't placing paper in between the shirt. It wasn't any of that. All it was either one or 2 things. It was either taping the shirt or putting butcher paper over the transfer. And the answer that I was looking for, yes, the answer that I was looking for was no butcher paper. I didn't use any butcher paper. And the reason why I wanted that answer is because we sell our own brand of sublimation paper. Here at the Blank Spot, we are a sublimation blanks and t-shirt transfer supplier. And we specialize specifically in sublimation. So we sell our own sublimation paper. Therefore, I wanted to get in front of an audience, a group of people who do sublimation, but who have been lied to, who have been distracted, have been misled by various people that are on the internet who may be popular, who've been doing sublimation for years, and they're using older supplies. So this particular video is going to be more of a tutorial, more of a step-by-step walkthrough of how to sublimate a shirt from start to finish. And I didn't realize there was going to be so many beginners commenting on the post. And maybe they weren't beginners. Maybe they formulated some habits and some patterns as they sublimate. But there are a lot of things that people do that's totally unnecessary. Now, there are some necessary things like lint rolling. You know, you never know where you're getting your substrate from. So you always want to make sure you lint roll before you actually press that shirt, because there is a such thing as blue specks. That ink gets on that lint and you have those specks and it's inside the shirt. You can't get it out. Pre-pressing the shirt. You need to do that. You need to get the moisture out of the shirt. Those 2 things are necessary. I read somebody say heating up the shirt. Not sure if they were talking about pre-pressing. For me, I had to learn the verbiage so I can actually talk to people, so I can understand and have that conversation about sublimation. But bottom line is, there are some unnecessary things that we are doing in sublimation that we have probably just started doing, and that's a part of our routine, our habit, and there's nothing wrong with that. Not here to tell anybody that they're wrong or that they're right, but you will find your way of doing things. So once again, as you jump on, if you have not done so, drop that city and state, like the video, share the video. Make sure you go to our YouTube channel, because you'll be able to see this video again. The YouTube channel, all of our sublimation blanks channels or the Blanks Spot. That's TheBlanksSpot, and you can find us there. So now, when you go there, I want you to like the video. I want you to share the video. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell to be notified when we go live or when we drop a new video. Okay. And I always say this every time, and I always do this. I got to get my little placard. So give me a second. Here it is. It's right in front of me. No, it's not. So I got to find my little placard, and I'll see if my wife can cut loose later on before I get too deep into it. and find my little placard because I want to be able to share my website with you guys. But sublimation, let's talk about sublimation and what it is. Sublimation is a process where the sublimation ink is going to be printed, preferably on a sublimation printer. It could be a printer that's been converted, but you're going to use sublimation ink and you're printing that to sublimation paper. That's liquid. Then once you take it from that printer to that heat press and that substrate, or that tumbler press or that mug press and that substrate, then the science happens. It goes from a liquid to a gas state and it transfers through heat. Okay, that's sublimation. Now you're going to need a combination of pressure, time, temperature. Those three things are going to be important in any sublimation project. But you're also going to need a good substrate, because not all things that are white are going to sublimate. You're going to need a good printer, because all printers that are converted are not going to give you a good quality print. Good ink, good sublimation ink. You can't just throw any sublimation ink in there and say, hey, I'm going to get a vibrant outcome. And then the last thing is one thing that I've been talking about for the longest is our sublimation paper. Sublimation paper does matter. And if you've been using a paper where you actually have to use butcher paper because your paper, your transfer is going to bleed to your heat press, then you may want to consider that. One of the questions that I asked is, why are you using butcher paper? And the answer that I got was, so the paper doesn't bleed to my heat press. So why are you using paper that bleeds to your heat press? Something to think about. See, a long time ago when sublimation was brought to the scene and it was made available for everyday ordinary people, there were probably just a handful of people making paper. And a lot of people did not think about, I'm going to improve on my product. If I have a monopoly going on, if I've cornered the market, if I've been named the #1 selling brand in North America, then there's no need to improve my product, because with every video that's shown, with every beginner that's there, they're going to be using my paper. And that's what's happened. So I said, well, you know, why is it that people don't research or do the homework or even look for a better product, a better paper in this instance? And I think I got the answer. I think it's because these companies have been around for so long. Companies have been around for so long, and they've built a certain amount of trust with the crafting industry that anybody else that comes along to challenge what they're doing, to say, hey, well, this may be a better product, you ought to try it out. I think that people don't believe that the smaller businesses, the people who are self-employed, the people who come up with these ideas, I don't think that they believe that they're going to hang around for a long time. So they say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to change over to their paper, whether it's better or not. I'm not going to change over to their substrates, to their other products, whether it's better or not, because they may not be around for a long time. Here, this other company's been around for a long time, but they're giving you bull. They continue to give you subpar products, and nobody's questioning that. So I want you to do this, because I did this weekend. This weekend, I was on YouTube and I was going on Facebook and I was going on TikTok, on Instagram, and I was just searching and searching and searching just to see, when I typed in sublimation, who popped up. And there were some very popular crafters that popped up. So I want you to think about this. What do you look for when you say that I'm going to connect with somebody, I'm going to follow somebody on social media? Do you look to see how many followers they have? Do you look to see how old their page is? Do you look to see, you know, how many responses they have, how many comments they have? Or are you looking at what they're doing, what they're saying, what they're not saying? And are you even willing to ask questions? See, a lot of people are afraid to ask questions because somebody's sitting in front of a camera. You're afraid to ask them a question. They should be able to answer the question. If they're talking about something that they don't understand and you ask them a question and put them on the spot, then they should be on the spot. But they should not be sharing information that they don't understand. And that's what I think has happened in this industry. Now, I've only been doing this for about 4.5, 5 years. My wife's been doing it much longer, but the things that I've learned in a short amount of time has made me question just about everything. It's not that I'm questioning whether someone is telling the truth or whether they're telling a lie or whether they're giving good information, bad information. I'm questioning it. I'm questioning it because that's my personality. That's who I am. I'm not gonna just let you tell me something. I'm gonna go and do my research. So there are a lot of different, there are lots of different substrates. Like I said, we started off and we're still here. We started off as a sublimation blanks and supply store. Now we're a warehouse, and now we also provide you with t-shirt transfers. Excuse me. So we have lots of different things, but today we're talking about sublimation. And once again, you can go back and look at this video on our YouTube, which is The Blanks Spot. And I did find my placard, so hold on. I promise you, man, this thing is hiding in plain sight all the time. You can go to our website as well and shop with us. It is theblanksspot.com. That's THEBLANKSSPOT.com. I'll hold this here for a minute as you guys come on. Hello, neighbor. Thanks for jumping on. Appreciate it. Thanks, Octavius. I appreciate it. So, it's more than just about being informative. We have to give the best information. Information is nothing more than an opportunity for you to go out and do your own homework. If someone tells you something, it's up to you to go back and do your research. Okay. So if you're looking for anything specifically, you can go to our website. I really don't have time to go through a whole list of what we have on our website, but definitely feel free to go check us out at theblankspot.com. Now, my wife and I, we stopped teaching a long time ago. And there's a reason why we stopped teaching a long time ago. We stopped teaching a long time ago because there's always teachers that come up on our platform that we've never seen before. And we check out their platform, we see what they're doing, and they're really not teachers. They just have opinions. It's very important, guys, to not get thrown off your focus, to stay focused. So for this particular training, and this is going to be a training, I'm going to sublimate a t-shirt, and I'm going to go step by step of the things that you should have as a beginner. If you're beginning sublimation, if you're brand new to sublimation, first off, before we get any further, if it's your first time here, type a number 1 in the comments. I'm going to wait a while to see who shows up. If it's your first time here, type a number 1 in the comments, please and thank you. Also, if you haven't done so, drop that city and state. Now, we don't do tutorials and demonstrations all the time. We don't do trainings ever. However, this is what I want you to understand, okay? I want you to understand something. If we are giving you some information, it is on our products and our services. This is going to help you to shop with us. So I'm going to be very, very selfish right now. I don't care if you shop with other people. I don't care if you shop with other companies, but this platform was created so you can shop with us. Now, that may sound selfish. Whatever the case, I don't care. We're in business to make money. We're in business to grow customers, to build businesses, to help other people build their business. And we're also here to help you along. So if you're not here for that, then you may be in the wrong place. If you're here to critique, hang on, stay, you hang around. You're gonna get opportunity to do that as well. But I'm gonna go ahead to my heat press, and I got my heat press turned on, and I'm gonna drop this temperature to 385. So I have my temperature at 385, and I'm going to be sublimating for 50 seconds. Now, one thing I want you guys to understand is this. Every temperature, time, and pressure is going to be determined by your sublimation paper. If you're purchasing sublimation paper or sublimation transfers, and the company that you're purchasing them from is not giving you a list of instructions or some type of guide, then you may want to question that, okay? But they should give you some type of startup guide, some type of beginning portion of where you should start. Now, every heat press is different. This is a 16 by 24 inch heat press. I'm going to answer some questions before anybody even asks, and somebody's going to probably come back on and ask. We got this from our vendor and overseas. It's not from Heat Press Nation. It's just a generic heat press, okay? So now it's not a Hydronics. It's just a generic heat press. It is a swing away and it pulls out, okay? So it swings away and it pulls out. All right. So now I like this heat press because it gives me a wider radius, but not everybody's starting with a 16 by 24. Most people are starting with an easy press. Y'all know what an easy press is? Drop a number 2 in the comments if you know what an easy press is. Oh yeah, we got one. We got a couple. Most people are starting off with this. That's what my wife started off with. She started off with an easy press. All right. And she was sublimating with this. She didn't stay long doing it with this, but she was sublimating with this. And she still does use this depending on what we're doing. Okay. Usually with vinyl, but she doesn't use this a lot. This is usually now a prop. Okay. This is not a good sublimation heat press. I don't care what Crafty Sally tells you. I don't care what Happy Joanne tells you. I don't care. This is not a good heat press to do sublimation with. Why? Because sublimation needs consistent pressure. It needs constant pressure. And if you're using this, this is what you're doing. You're doing this, okay? And you can't guarantee that you're going to have the same pressure here as you're having here. So this is not good. This is okay, but it's not good. People have gotten good doing this, and I'm not here to knock you. If this is your choice, if this is your poison, this is what you want to use, by all means use it, okay? By all means use it. But for the people who are new, if you're going to do sublimation, invest in a heat press. The next thing, people are starting with 15 by 15s. That's a smaller format heat press. Nothing's wrong with that, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. And then people begin to move up to larger presses like a 16 by 20 or 16 by 24. Now, this press is set at 385 for 50 degrees. Now, I'm going to go over a couple of substrates. A substrate is simply something that you're going to sublimate on. There's several types of substrates. And the reason why I believe that a lot of people run from sublimation, and yeah, y'all are running from sublimation. The reason why I feel like a lot of people are running from sublimation is because sublimation is not ABC. It takes a thought process. It's science. It is. It's not rocket science, but it's science. You're not going to sublimate every substrate with the same pressure, the same temperature, or the same time. You're going to have to adjust that heat press, tighten it, or loosen it. And that's not cool for a lot of people. So they say, I'm just not going to mess with it. And that's your prerogative. But here's a license plate. This is a type of a substrate. It's metal, okay? It's a license plate. It's very thin. As you guys can see, it's very thin. And normally when I sublimate this license plate, I'm going to use a heat pad or a pad, excuse me. I'm going to use a pad to give myself some extra leverage. Now, this is nothing more than a, let me get this together. Sewing pad, I guess. It's nothing more than a sewing pad. And I'm not pressing directly to this. Now, if I do decide to press directly to this, it's not going to burn. But I'm not pressing directly to this because I want to reuse it. So normally what I do is I'll take this, put it underneath my substrate, and then I'll put some butcher paper over it, and then I'll press. Because 9 times out of 10, my transfer is going to overlap my substrate, and I'm going to get that bleed, and I don't want that bleed to hit the bottom of my press, okay? So having a pad is not a bad idea, but you're going to have to figure out when you're going to need it, okay? So that's the license tag. That's metal. This is a, what is this? Passport cover. It's a passport cover. It's faux leather. It's faux leather. It's faux patent leather, okay? Same thing, it's thin, and you want to make sure you know there's no, this is the unfortunate part about sublimation. There's no exact every time because everybody has different heat presses, right? Everybody has different heat presses. So you may have a 15 by 15 that's brand new out of the box and it's heating up evenly everywhere. Meanwhile, we've had this for about 3 years and it may not get hot in the middle. It may take longer. So you got to know your product. You got to know your you have to know your equipment as well. All right. Here is wood, MDF. Okay. MDF with the poly coating. Everything that you're going to see has poly coating on it already. So it's ready to sublimate. This is a book bag. This is a book bag, but it comes apart. So you're sublimating on this part and you put it back together when you're done. This is just basic. This is a basic thin type fabric. This is neoprene. This is the neoprene bag. If I can get this thing open, I should have been on the inside. This is a neoprene bag. Okay, neoprene bag. You can sublimate on both sides. Different texture, different. It's like a cup holder. Okay, you put a bottle, a can holder, a koozie. If you're familiar with the koozie, that's the type of material this is. I know people are probably getting bored. We're gonna get to pressing because that's what people, they just want to see some pressing going on. But I want to share these things with you, okay? Then you got a couple more things I'm gonna share. I think this is a felt. This is a car freshener. I think it's like a felt type material. So many different things you can sublimate on that's already ready to go, right? And then last but not least, this is nylon. This is nylon, okay? That's nylon, very thin. We had some nylon zip up backpacks that you would have to put a piece of paper in between, because what happens is the fabric is so thin that it's going to bleed through. Okay, the fabric's so thin that it's going to bleed through. So thank you, I appreciate it. So now we have our own sublimation shirts. I'm going to pop one of these bad boys open. If you're just jumping on and you have not done so, maybe you slid in while I was talking. Drop your city and state. Like the video, share the video. If it's your first time and you haven't dropped that number one, drop the number one in the comments. Then I want you to drop a number 3 in the comments if you have never done any sublimation. A 3 if you've never done sublimation. A 4 if you've done sublimation. I'm waiting. This video will be available. This video will be available on our YouTube channel, which is The Blanks Spot. Number 1 if you're new. Number 3 if you've never done it before. Number 4 if you've done it before. Okay. Got a couple of mixed ones. I appreciate y'all. So I don't know who you guys are watching, and I don't know how you choose. I don't know how you choose how you watch people and how you follow people. But I will tell you this: ask questions. It's nothing wrong with questioning somebody. I find myself catching myself sometimes because people are asking questions. What people are really wanting to know is if what you're doing or saying valid. How do you know what someone's saying is credible? How do you know that someone's saying the right thing? Or maybe they just got an affiliate marketing link. Maybe they have a partnership with the company and they're just making money by sharing their stuff. Help me out, y'all. A lot of y'all are watching people. A lot of y'all are watching people who are getting paid to share a certain product with you. They're getting paid to show you and share with you those people's paper, those people's shirts, those people's ink. Well, we get paid not to make content, but we get paid to share our products, okay? And this is the Blank Spot Sublimation Paper. I'm going to read this paper before we go because this is what we're using. It says fast drying, 95 to 98% transfer rate, 99% bleed free. No butcher paper needed. Best used with poly coating or poly coated substrates. That's this paper, and it's available on our website. Our website, once again, is theblankspot.com. Okay? You don't get paid, you watch to learn. Well, I get this is our everyday 9 to 5, 10 to 12, all that good stuff. We do this 100% all the time. So this is what we do, okay? May I ask, do your fans come with the paper detached from the blades? So it's not paper, it's fabric. And no, they don't. They come already pre-assembled. You have to take them apart. So this is our paper. You have the ability to get a sample of our transfers. Okay. So we're giving out for free, going to be giving out for free 3 images, 3 6-inch images to the first 25 people, for the first 25 people who go to our, let me get this right, who go to our YouTube channel, which is the blank spot, and comment free sublimation sample. Okay. Comment free sublimation sample. I'll drop you the link. We're going to send it to you for free. We're going to cover shipping and handling, all that good stuff. You're going to get 3. But you got to go to our YouTube channel. It's not going to work on TikTok. Not going to work on Facebook, Instagram. Got to be on YouTube. Okay? So if you want to try our paper out, you're going to be trying our paper and our ink at the same time because we already printed out the transfer. Anyway, we have our own shirts. We have our own shirts, okay? That's for the first 25. So that means when it's done, it's done. I got you, Sandra. So I'm going to go back and look at this video and do all that good stuff. So we have our own shirts. Now, most people, when they go and use sublimation shirts like we were doing, we were using a name brand shirt. We were using jersey shirts. We were using Gildan shirts. I think my wife started off using cricket shirts. Nothing's wrong with any of those shirts. We even used the A4 shirts, the little silky shirts. Nothing wrong with that, okay? However, this is what I want you to think about. The thinner your substrate, the more likely you're going to need to put a piece of paper in between so it doesn't have that blowback or that blow through, because it'll blow straight through to the back. If you don't believe me, get you a pillowcase, get you something that's nylon. As a matter of fact, I got some fans that I did. I'll show you real quick. Here's a fan that I did. This is the front side of the fan. Instagram, you're seeing it backwards, but this is the front side of the fan. This is so thin, it blew back through the back side. I didn't sublimate this side. This is the side that has the tape on it. So if I didn't want this to blow back, I would have had to put something in between. Just can't help it, okay? Can't help it. So that's just an example, all right? So when people tell me that they had to put paper in between their shirts, or they put paper in between their shirts because they don't want it to bleed through, that lets me know that you're using a thin shirt. That lets me know that you're using a shirt that you can see straight through. Nothing's wrong with that. I'm not here to discourage you. I'm here to encourage you to try our products. Heat press, 385 degrees, set for 50 seconds. Another thing about a lot of papers, a lot of sublimation papers, is that you're required to press at 400 degrees for 60 seconds. I'm going to catch somebody with that. Type a number 5 in the comments if you're currently pressing at 400 degrees for 60 seconds. This going to catch some people. I should have asked that at first, because people may not be honest. With certain papers, they require you to press at a higher temperature and a longer time. Do you guys know why? And why it's not good to do that on certain things? You run the risk of burning your substrate, number 1. That's number 1. Number 2 is hot. It's going to get hotter. And if they're telling you to use that high temperature and that long time so the ink can transfer. They're trying to get a good transfer rate. That's what they're trying to do. And for all of the people that you guys have watched and continue to watch, the next time they do some sublimation, ask them why they're using butcher paper instead of changing to a paper that don't require butcher paper or parchment paper. So when I did this the other day, there were a lot of comments. And the question was, what did I not do? What did I not do before I put the heat press down? So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to walk you through every step of how I do it. And you feel more than inclined to figure out the best way for you. I always put my shirt upside down with the neck of the shirt hanging off because I want to get an even press. You're going to need a lint roller. Okay? You're going to need a lint roller. You're going to need, if you're brand new, you're going to need heat tape. Lint roller, heat tape. If you're brand new, you may want to invest in this measuring tool or placement tool. Okay? Might want to invest in this placement tool. Also, if you're brand new, you want to invest in some heat gloves. Where did I put my heat gloves? I got them around here somewhere. Here you go. You want to invest in some heat gloves because there's a high possibility that you're going to burn yourself. Okay? You might burn yourself. So, I got my temperature. Once again, if you're just jumping on, we're pressing a sublimation shirt from scratch. That means that if you got to this part of the video and you hung on this long, you're going to also see us press this shirt. Then you also be able to go back to YouTube and fast forward. Now, I got my temperature set at 385, which we can press a lot lower than that. And I recommend that if you use our paper, that you get an old substrate. You get an old shirt, something old, and you practice on how low you can press. That's how you know what type of product you got. All right. So before I pre-press this, I'm going to lint roll it because a lot of people said, hey, you didn't lint roll. Well, yes, I did. You just didn't see it. So I lint roll my shirt. Why do we lint roll our shirt? Anybody? Why do we lint roll our shirt? For the new people, because if you don't get the lint off, it's called blue specks. What happens is that ink will touch that lint, which is polyester. It'll be embedded in your shirt, and it ain't cool, I promise you, especially if you're selling it. All right? So the next thing, because I always try to put my shirt on here as straight as I can, the next thing I do, I've already adjusted my pressure. You didn't see me do that, but I adjusted my pressure. And I do have a pressing pad underneath because the press being so long, sometimes it doesn't radiate heat evenly. This is what I learned about my heat press. But I am using a pressing pad. So I'm gonna pre-press this. I'm not heating the shirt up. Stop saying heating the shirt up. I'm pre-pressing the shirt to get the moisture out. 3 to 5 seconds. This is not, I'm not cooking. Well, I am cooking, but this is not baking a cake. I'm not warming up the oven. I'm pre-pressing the shirt, okay? That's to get the moisture out. You're going to do that with cotton shirts as well, okay? Yes, you want to remove the fibers. Thank you, Gail. So now, once I've done that, I got to identify my transfer, which I did already. I just got to know where I put it. Man, I be moving stuff. I used to have an assistant. No, I didn't. I never had an assistant. Don't worry about me, y'all. I am getting it together. Give me 1 second, okay? Okay, I'm going to use this. This is what I'm going to use. There, over here. Y'all probably saying that guy's not very prepared. Don't worry about it. It happens to everybody. All right. So I have my transfers. Okay. I'm going to be pressing some butterflies. Okay. I'm going to do two. I'm going to do 2 shirts, 2 butterflies. So now I always, if you're brand new, and also if you are printing from a desktop printer, depending on what your printer settings are, because everybody has different printer settings, you want to make sure you cut along the edges because there could be ink that is hovering along the edges. As it prints out, it could be a lot of that, okay? So, if you have followed so far, I have lint rolled the shirt. I pre-pressed the shirt. Now, I am going to place the shirt on my, place the transfer on the shirt. Now, I always use this little butterfly method. I hold out my arms to see how straight it is. However, if you're new, you're probably going to be doing this on a table, and you're going to have your t-shirt measuring tool, and you're going to be putting your heat tape on it, okay? So for all intents and purposes, for the people who are new, I'm just doing my eyesight with this. However, for the people who are new, I am going to go ahead and put heat tape on this, since people said that I forgot to put heat tape on it. The reason why you put heat tape on it is so your image does not shift when you lift your heat press up. Because a lot of people, they let their heat press pop up. The shirt or the substrate is still cooking. And if it's not taped down and air gets underneath there between the transfer and the substrate, then that's how ghosting occurs. Okay? So I'm going to take this down. But just so you know, I don't like using tape. So you won't see me using tape a lot. But for this training purposes, I'm using this tape. Okay? I don't like using tape because I don't like wasting stuff. And I'm confident enough that, I don't need tape. Questions or comments about what you've seen so far? I see somebody asked about a fan. Ma'am, if you go to our website, you can actually go to theblankspot.com, and on the front page, you'll see some information about fans, and you can see where you can order your fan transfers. To everyone else, how y'all doing? Thanks for jumping on. This is the Blank Spot. We're a sublimation blanks and t-shirt transfer supplier located just outside of Columbia, South Carolina. And I know I've been going slow, but there's a lot of people who are new. I am sublimating a shirt from start to finish, okay? And if I missed a step, feel free to drop in the comments. Not a step that you would do, but if I missed a step, let me know. So now that I have set my temperature, set my time, adjusted my pressure, I have lint rolled my shirt, I pre-pressed my shirt, I placed my image on the heat press, and I taped it down. I am now going to pull my press down. My timer is set for 55 seconds. Now, everybody is not going to do the same thing that I'm doing. Everybody's not going to do it the same way. You're going to find your way. However, if you're following someone specifically on one of these social media channels and they're telling you certain things, then I want you to ask questions if it doesn't make sense. One thing that I did not do is I didn't put butcher paper. On top of my transfer. Did y'all see that? I did not put butcher paper on there because our paper doesn't bleed. And if you look at some of these papers that do bleed, you will see the ink pushing up. Yes, my shirt is 100% polyester. You will see the ink pushing up. I'm going to ride this up. I'm not going to let it flop up. I'm going to ride it up. Control raise. I'm not going to just pull it out because it's a pull out. I'm going to slide it around, swing it around. I'm going to slide it out. And for everybody who say, hey, you got to wear heat gloves, I got my heat glove on because y'all worried about my fingers getting burnt. All right. Paper don't bleed. You didn't see the butcher paper. Now I need to show y'all something. Now this is the ink release at 385 degrees at 55 seconds with medium pressure. Imagine had I done heavy pressure. It's already no ink left. Imagine doing heavy pressure. Same transfer. 385, 55 degrees, or 50 degrees, excuse me. All right, now. I did not use butcher paper. And I'm going to show you something else. You don't see any ink. You see the light, but you don't see any ink protruding from here. You usually see ink on a lot of these papers. You'll see the ink popping through the backside. That's why you got to use butcher paper. And here's my shirt. The one thing I failed to tell you guys that I went 3 to 4 fingers from the neckline to measure. Get a close up, because that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like in real life, y'all. So there's no such thing as a hot or a cold peel when sublimation is concerned. However, yes, you can take it off right away. Sublimation is not like DTF or screen print, all right? Because it's not a peel, it's just pressing. It's an ink dye transfer, okay? So now I'm going to do another shirt, because that shirt is going to be sold this weekend at our event. So if you guys are just jumping on, do me a favor. Drop your city and state if you have not done so. Like the video, share the video. Make sure you go to our platforms. The blank spot is YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and then we just changed our Facebook to the blank spot, Sublimation Blanks T-shirt transfer supply. So you can find us anything in the blank spot, okay? Let's see. Can I use this paper on my? Yes, so our paper is not printer. It's compatible with all printers. It's compatible with all printers. We have 4 different sizes: 11, 8.5 by 11, 8.5 by 11, 8.5 by 14, 11 by 17, 13 by 19, and then we do carry paper rolls, 8.5-inch rolls and 13-inch rolls. Also, we carry 24-inch rolls for those of you who have 24-inch sublimation printers. Okay. Vibrant, appreciate it. Thank you, Kia. So, what other questions? Oklahoma City, that's what's up. I may have missed some people. Shalom from New Jersey. How you doing? Thanks for jumping on. I appreciate you. Love the print. Yep, if you don't need it. So this particular shirt that I have on is the same brand that we carry. And these are our shirts. We have branded these shirts. We don't have our brand in our shirt. All we have is we no longer put our brand in our shirt. All we have is the size tag in there. That way, when you purchase them, you can brand them how you want to brand them. You might want to put your tag in there, okay? So, Chicago, Vegas, y'all popping in. Thank y'all for jumping on. I appreciate it. Atlanta, Georgia, all right. Ohio, Buckeyes, all right. So, once again, we got 25 slots, maybe not 25 left. You have to go on to the YouTube channel and say free sample on this video, free sample, and I will give you the link. I will give you the link to order your free sample, and we will mail it for free. We're going to give you 3 6-inch sublimation images to try. Okay, we were giving out paper, but everybody doesn't have a printer. We're giving out paper. There's only going to be 1 sample pack per customer. So please don't ask for, 5, 6, 7. You're trying to make a shirt. You're trying to take all of our samples and make sure we ain't doing it. We want you to try our paper. We want you to understand that there are options out there. Okay. So this is 100% polyester with a cotton feel. Okay. 100% polyester with a cotton feel. Now the next shirt I'm going to do, I'm just going to walk right through this, guys, so you guys can see it. That way, if you want to get to this video, and I always do this, just have it. You want to get to this video, you can just fast forward and see how I did it. Like I said, I always lay my shirt upside down for 2 reasons, man. One reason, I got tired of burning myself. I really did. I got tired of burning myself. Lint roll. But also, it gives me the ability to have an even press because the seam is hanging off. Lint roll. Pre-press 3 to 5 seconds. I am not heating up the shirt. I'm pre-pressing the shirt to get the moisture out. From there, I have my transfer. Okay. You always want to cut the edges off. Especially if you're printing from a desktop printer, you want to cut the edges off because there's no telling where that ink went. I do this by eye. Three to four fingers from the rim. For those of you who are afraid that it's going to ghost, it's going to shift, I'm going to tape it for you. If you're a beginner, you want to make a habit of taping your sublimation transfers down. As you can see, I'm not putting any butcher paper over this because it's not going to bleed. Our paper doesn't bleed. That's it. It's that simple. Any questions or comments? Miguel, how's it going? Go to the website. There are some multiple options, some multiple order options. We normally don't do bulk purchasing because we're not selling to business owners all the time. So if you need something or you want to buy something, it's best to email us. We only do bulk and wholesale options from business to business. And there's going to be some requirements that we're going to ask for. So guys, I hope you got some value out of this. We got about 6 more seconds before I lift this up. But I want you to understand something. There's a lot of information out there going on about sublimation that it's unnecessary. A lot of people are sharing information that's not accurate, even though you've been following them for a long time. They may be a guru in your eyes. They may be a guru in your eyes, but when you start asking questions, this is the transfer. This is the ink transfer. When you start asking questions and they can't answer it, or you ask them, hey, why are you using this paper? Why are you using this sublimation paper and using butcher paper? That's an extra step. It's not necessary. It's really not. Why are you doing that? They're going to probably tell you something like, this is what I've always done. They're going to tell you something like, well, this is the paper that I use and this is what I have to do. Or they may tell you something like, hey, you know what? I get affiliate. They may not tell you that, but I get affiliate mark. I have affiliate link and I get paid when I share the link. I'm telling you guys, there's better products out there. There's better services out there. It's up to you to go and check it out. This is a combination. This is a combination of a couple of things. The substrate. It's not going to look like this on every substrate. I could put this on wood and it's going to look different. I could put it on metal. It's going to look different. I could put it on neoprene. It's going to look different. Okay. Our shirts are not thin. So we had the ability to allow the transfer to be soaked in to the substrate. If I had a thin shirt, it wouldn't have anywhere to go. Okay. The other thing is our ink. We use our own sublimation ink. So you can go to the website. You want to purchase our sublimation ink. It is formulated for Epson desktop printers and also our sublimation paper, guys. Once again, high transfer rate, low bleed rate, like 99% no bleed, no butcher paper required. So if you like buying butcher paper, continue using the type of paper that you're using. But there's a lot of unknowns, as I stated in one of my other videos about sublimation. And a lot of people are doing things just because they see other people doing it. Have you done your research? Have you done your homework? Why are you walking the way that other people are walking if you don't know why they're doing it? Question it. Question it. Absolutely. We have our own tape. Our tape doesn't leave marks either. So we have been around doing this for a little while, guys. Check us out. www.theblankspot.com. The name of this video or the title was, they lied to y'all about sublimation. So what I want y'all to do is think about it. The next time you do a sublimation project, think about the extra steps that you're using. Think about the higher temperature that you have to use because of the paper that you use. Think about having to use butcher paper because, I don't want my heat press to get messed up because the paper is not a good quality paper. Think about all that. And then when you think about that, come on back and think about the blank spot. Like I always say, when you know better, that's when you have the ability to do better. And the only knowledge that's powerful is properly applied knowledge. I'll see everybody at the top because there's too many people struggling at the bottom. Peace.